As I wind down the days here at IFA in Berlin 2014, I wanted to bring you one that you guys were requesting, and it's a look at the Xperia Z3 versus the Xperia Z2. Now we will obviously start with design, but that is where the Z3 has its main upgrades over the Xperia Z2, as the list is a little bit short when it comes to talking about what has really changed from one to the other. But the Z3's design does bring a much rounder look, much softer on the sides and in the frame mostly. That does give it less rigidity, as was found in the Xperia Z2, though it wasn't uncomfortable by any means. It just is even better now on the Z3. You do get still the ports on the sides, and after that the design mostly stays about the same. You will have a better look at the front-facing speakers here, as they are a little bit smaller. They're not all the way flush into the very lines of the phone, and they should still provide a pretty good sound performance. But from there, it is a little bit lighter. The Z3 is at 152 grams. It's something that you will feel when you compare, but for the most part, the feel and the weight still feels pretty much the same. The Z3 underneath the surface has that 1920 by 1080p resolution screen at 5.2 inches, which is largely the same as before, and still brings the same great performance with the Triluminos and X-Reality engine. But also the viewing angles are also about the same, which they have already been improved in the Z2 and continue to be just as good in the Z3. The Snapdragon 801 now at 2.5 GHz is what you get here, along with 16 or 32 gigabytes of storage and 3 gigabytes of RAM. So you will have pretty much the same performance package, but we already knew it was working really well in the Xperia UI, which is still pretty simplistic and minimalistic, which is what we love about it, and it still maintains a very good look and performance, even with additions like the small apps and all of the Sony additions in the applications, which mainly include the PlayStation connectivity this year, or in this release rather, in which you can connect to your PlayStation 4 and be able to play your games remotely via these phones and the tablet that was also released. After that, the camera is the 20.7 megapixel camera that you do already probably love from the original Z2, and it brings all the same power with a few extra modes built in. And finally, in the battery, we do get a bump up to a 3100 milliamp hour unit, but Sony has really been tooting that the battery performance on here is even better than before, and you should be able to get 2 days on average out of this phone, and we probably wouldn't be putting it past them because there are already some great power saving features that have been a trope of the Xperia line for quite a while. So that's just a closer look at the Sony Xperia Z3 when compared to the Z2. Yes, we do have a 6-month release cycle, but that doesn't mean that there aren't some enhancements here. If you already loved the Z2 experience, then we wouldn't blame you either way if you decided to not go to the next one, or if you decided to go to the Z3 because you want that updated look and feel. So keep it tuned here at Android Authority for our future review of the Xperia Z3, and remember that we are your source for all things Android.